U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Cenmass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Here's your host, Rod Williams.
It's Saturday, November 25th, 2 days after Turkey Day. I am Rod Williams, and I'm here with my pal, Farmer Greg Barkley. Hi, Greg.
Hey, how you doing?
Awesome.
Good.
All right, how was your Turkey Day, brother?
It was great, actually. Spent it with my daughter and had some good turkey and gravy and potatoes and all the good stuff.
Turkey, gravy, and potatoes, that's all you had? It's 3 dishes?
That's it, man.
You can't run the whole thing down?
No.
Did you have cranberry sauce? What a waste cranberry sauce is.
Yeah, no cranberry sauce.
You know
not a cranberry
They either
guy.
open that can and just plop that goo out, or they make some fancy one. Either way, no one ever eats any of it.
No.
I told my wife, no cranberry sauce. No one eats it. Just make the good stuff.
My brother would eat it. He'd smear it on everything, over the top.
My special request this year was ambrosia.
Okay.
You ever had that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Sweet. It's good. I like
it.
it.
Yeah.
All right. You know,
Jello.
this is I'm lazy. It's after, kind of holidays here. I didn't do a lot of show prep, so I'm expecting you to take the baton today and run with it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
I'm just going to sit here and stare at you. I don't care if we have an hour of
Okay.
dead air. Come on, let's see what you got.
I got nothing.
Oh, man, you're killing me. I can see you're my go-to guy.
I'm unprepared.
All right, any family members blow up at the house? I'm not going to say who they are. My sister, that comes over every year and starts bawling. Gets all emotional. But she wasn't here this year, so I didn't have to have that treat.
I have a very mellow family. We don't tend to do that.
Yeah, mine's real mellow too. You can imagine how mellow my family is, right?
Crazy gun.
It's not
people.
like I'm high strung. All right. All right. Yeah, feeling lazy. I didn't do a lot of show prep, so it's kind of like anything you want the show. So, all right. Yesterday was Black Friday. Black Lives, Black Friday, Black Friday, Shopping Friday.
Yeah.
So did you see any video on some of these black?
Yeah, I was watching some this morning. It reminded me so much of one of these zombie movies where they just come piling in from orifices of the place and start consuming everything.
What kind of dawned on me when I was watching some of the videos, like of a Walmart or whatever, is it's kind of hard to make the distinction between a Black Lives Matter protest turned into a riot and Walmart when they got a 50-inch TV on sale for $299. And they got 199, they got 100 TVs and 299 people that want to buy them. So they basically have a little riot in Walmart.
It's worse. It's worse than the riots that they have in the street. It's way worse than that.
It's hilarious. I mean, we got a bunch of people
beating people.
So I was looking on the internet and I found this kind of I don't know. It's a pyramid kind of a thing that shows I'm looking for it right now as I talk. I'm talking shuffling. This is what happens when you don't prepare. But it was a pyramid that kind of shows the who has all the money in this society, and on this thing, it shows that like 36% of the population of the world, I guess, this is the world, only hold less than $10,000 worth of
net worth.
Net worth. So you have 36% of everybody. This is your people that are constantly protesting, probably because, and I have to say, if you find yourself in that 36%. You start voting Democrat, I guess is what you do, and you feel sorry for yourself because you haven't been successful enough in whatever your endeavors are to have more than $10,000 worth of net worth. And so when you get a TV on, the government probably provides everything the Democrats buy your vote by providing you everything you need.
Well, they promise you.
And they promise you stuff.
They
keep you enslaved, but they promise you stuff. So one of the few things they give you a free phone, they give you free health care, they give you this and that. Yeah. But what they don't give you is this 40-inch or 50-inch TV.
Yep.
So when those come, there's only two ways to get one. You have to wait for the next riot and loot it, or you have to wait for Black Friday and go to Walmart and loot it for $200, So that's what I see happening over there. Yeah, this thing was interesting because it's like literally 73.2%. Wow, I was wrong. 73.2% of people have less than $10,000 of net worth. And then 18.5% are the $10,000 to $100,000 in net worth, Well, heck, if
I
you
mean,
own
that's-
your own house, you're worth more than $100,000.
Well, I know. That's not even middle class.
So if you're worth $100,000 to $1 million, now that's a big window right there.
Huge, yeah.
Then you're in the top 7.5%. So you're a big baller. I don't know that this thing's too correct. I'm not even sure.
I can't
where-
imagine
it's just-
73%.
It says the source of it was James Davies, Rodrigo, somebody, and somebody else from the Credit Global Wealth Data Book 2016. And then I guess so. Okay, so 100,000 to $1 million net worth puts you at 7.5%, and then over $1 million to I guess however many trillion puts you in the top 0.7%. And that top 0.7% has 45.6% of all the wealth.
All the wealth, yeah.
And then that next tier down has 40% of all the wealth. And then the 10 to 100,000 people have 11.4% of all the wealth. And then the poor people down there at the bottom with under 10,000 only have so 73% of the people have 2.4% of the wealth.
So where's the middle class in that? That doesn't.
Well, the
kinda
middle
make any
class is
sense.
that's what this pyramid shows, is the middle class is being destroyed, and it's going to just be a high class and then a class of serfs.
and they've
that serve them.
been pushing that for quite a while. The liberals want that. They
Yeah,
want to push the more people.
the global elitists want
by
that.
taking away the businesses and all that. That's just driving more and more people down.
So Fidel Castro died. He was the Cuban dictator. I like the word dictator. I picture a phallus and I picture a potato with a hole in it, and I don't know. But that's who Fidel Castro was. He was a dictator.
Yeah.
So
I
don't know.
wonder
What can you say about him?
if they're going to ever be able to get out from underneath this and get to a democratic party in that country.
There's people all over, going on and on and on about Castro, but oh, he deserved to die and all this, and he was a
they're
piece
partying.
of work.
They're partying in Miami.
But the guy lived to be 90, so how much solace can you get? I serves him right. Well, he lived to be 90. I mean,
Yeah.
It ain't like there's any fair in any of it. I mean, the guy had a
He lived
long life.
Yeah, and,
So,
a pretty decent
Just when
life.
you're a dictator.
Well, the one thing he did was pulled out the Obama, got the Obama handshake at some point. So
Yeah, he was Obama. He was Obama's buddy. Any socialist to another socialist.
that's going to end up being his only accomplishment now. Obama is opening up Cuba.
Yeah,
Because I don't think Trump will over.
I don't even smoke cigars anymore. By the time we open up trade with Cuba and I can get a Cuban cigar, which aren't all that great,
Yeah.
they're rolled on the knee of a Cuban virgin, if there's such a thing. I don't know. All right, so I guess got little stories I'm just going to look at. I'm going to be all over the place. E-cigarette explodes in man's pants in New York Grand Central. So it looks like we're going to see, grungy hipsters and emos blowing up all over the country now because their e-cigarettes are going to explode and everything. Officials say a man in New York Grand Central Terminal suffered leg and hand burns when an e-cigarette exploded in his pocket. Central Sales employee John Lee says it looked like fireworks exploding when the vaporizer pin suddenly blew up in a man's pants one day morning. I haven't had anything blow up in my pants in a long time. Have you?
No.
Maybe.
If you saw the video, it was pretty cool, though.
Was there a video of it?
Oh, yeah.
What is it there a video of nowadays?
It looked like he had a firecracker in his pants.
His E
going
unit
on.
almost blew off his G unit, huh?
He thought it was going to. But it's like these phones, the Samsung phones, blowing up. God, man, they're causing all kinds of damage.
It's dangerous to be a techie. Your electronic cigarette blows up. Your
phone.
electronic phone blows up. I mean, that's some
What's
scary.
next?
That's some scary badoogie.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, we're going to take a break here and then come back and just go on and on with more of this really cool show. I want you folks to call in if you want. 247-CALL. That's 247-2255, and you can help us waste some time here Saturday. You're listening to Power Talk, 96.7 FM, 1400 AM, and this is Center Mass.
U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Center Mass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Here again is Rod Williams.
You're back with the Patriots on Cenmass. You can also hear our show on podcast simply by searching Power Talk 96.7, opening up the website, clicking on demand, and from there, Cenmass. You can hear our show when out of town on iHeartRadio on the internet. Lots of big stuff coming soon. We're going to soon open up content on our new website, cenmass.com. That's CENMASS.com. Keep tuning in, keep checking it out, because there's nothing on it right now, but it's going to open up with a storm pretty soon, probably take a few weeks. Just getting the word out there. Going to have a lot of direction to a lot of different content. You'll be able to go on Facebook and hear a lot of podcasts that we're doing, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Cenmass Rod Williams. YouTube, Cenmass Rod Williams. You want to subscribe. All that will get directed from our website at some point, which is cenmass.com. We're doing a lot of new stuff. We're going to be hosting a lot of cool how-to videos and shooting videos and political Rod rants on and on about Hear the Truth videos, a lot of fun stuff. Our store is U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms at 2135 Whitendale Avenue in Visalia, at the corner of Mooney and Whitendale behind the 76 station. You can call our store at 734-ARMS, that's 734-2767, or just come in and visit with Mr. Woomer and myself. This segment of our show is brought to you by the best realtor I've ever had anything to do with, and that's Ed Morton at Keller & Williams Realty. Give him a call at 859-4840. That's 859-4840. BRE number 0140-9444. That's as fast as I can do that. That part sucks, so I just do it fast. I want to know what you think. Call me at the show at 247-CALL. That's 247-2255. I'm going shooting this week, Mr. Barkley. Maybe not this week, but between now and just after the first of the year, I got a grip of guns that I'm going to do tests on and whatnot. Nice. Hey, you know what? We got a caller. Let's hear from Ed. Hello, Ed.
Hey, good morning, Rod and Mr. Greg, Farmer Greg.
Morning. How are you, sir?
Oh, real good, thanks.
How was your turkey day?
Oh, great. Yeah, my daughter and son-in-law live with me, and they used to have a restaurant until.
Woo! They know how to cook it up, then.
You got that right.
So, what's on your mind?
There's just a couple of short things, Rod. Several months ago, Rigoberto Duterte became the president of the Philippines.
Right.
Okay. Have you followed any of what he's been doing about the drug issue throughout the Philippines?
Well, not really. I know he don't like us, and I know he's always got a lot of snide comments and so forth concerning us. He doesn't sound like he wants to ally himself with us as much as his predecessors did. But I haven't really been following politics in the Philippines real close. What's he been doing, Ed?
Well, he opened up. Let's see. I hope I can get my thoughts here. He created vigilantism, more or less, on anyone that is involved in the drug world there in the Philippines. He, in other words,
so if you live in the Philippines and there's a drug dealer down the street from you, he condones you just going down there and blowing their brains out, kind of a thing.
More or less, that's and
so how's that working out?
It's cleansed a lot of druggers out, and he's taken the drug situation down there, and Soros and gang here in America, and the drug cartels are just polluting, contaminating America like crazy, especially California, as you know, and I know. Okay, so much on that. There's probably others out there that have seen articles that have kind of come about. I've kind of lost my thoughts on what I wanted to bring out also on that. But, hey, how about chemtrails, Rod? Are you familiar with what's going on?
You know, I see that, and I'm kind of a careful guy. Like, I really enjoy a good conspiracy theory. You know, I love that stuff. I love to listen to George Norrie late at night and all this stuff, but I also try to keep it real. So the chemtrail thing is, look, a contrail, not a chemtrail, a contrail from People will look up. My friend did the other day when we were driving home from the show, and he says, "Look at all those contrails up there. All those could be chemtrails. That's just too many contrails. They're making a checkerboard." Well, look at the amount of airline travel there is in our country. So there's millions of planes flying around every day. If the conditions are right, the atmospheric conditions, they all leave a contrail. Now, they make a common knowledge that they do squirt stuff out, and they do cloud seeding, and I think powdered aluminum, these different materials.
Aluminum oxide.
Yeah, aluminum oxide. They're probably not good for you. I don't know what the real conspiracy behind chemtrails is. Nothing would surprise me. Whenever we say, "Oh, that's just a conspiracy," it has a lot of them have a way of turning out to be true, and a lot of them have a way of turning out just to be conspiracy theories. So, I'm really kind of on the fence on the chemtrail thing. I don't know. I don't see who it would serve or how it would serve anybody to poison us all. I don't know really, that I buy into the chemtrail thing. What do you think, Ed? Think they spraying some chemicals on us to do something to us?
Oh, you bet, because there's books out, Rod. At Barnes & Noble, I got a good one a while back, and since the early 90s, they've been spraying worldwide.
What are they spraying? What are they spraying?
They're spraying aluminum, mercury, and a combination of other chemicals.
And why are they spraying it?
To poison us.
Why do they want to poison us?
Well,
and who are they?
You're familiar with the Bilderbergs, Illuminati?
Sure. Yeah, I'm familiar with all those things. What do they got to gain? I mean, I could see them wanting to enslave us so that they could be the rich rulers. And there is a certain amount of theory out there that these global elitists want to reduce the population because they see it. So you think that that's how the global elitists are trying to reduce the population, is by slowly poisoning us with chemicals in the air?
That's exactly one of the ways in which they're doing it, or rather, Rob.
Well, one interesting story I've seen lately was that mystery flight that circled over Denver over and over. Some big jet came in. Just made me wonder how safe we are for someone dropping like a nuke on us.
That was the Doomsday plane, where that's where if something goes down, that they would go into this plane and it would be able to control. It's like a second controlling
for the leadership.
Yeah, they would go in there and they could control everything from the air, and so they wouldn't be on the ground anymore. And so
I think they got a doomsday plane, and they got a doomsday underground bunker.
Oh yeah, they got bunkers.
A big facility where they can take all the. Can you imagine if the only thing left in the world was the political ruling class? Like, we wiped the whole world out.
That'd be awfully scary.
Yeah, how disgusting! What a disgusting plan. I'd rather be gone than be, if that was the only people left on the world, were the Nancy Pelosi's and the Dianne Feinsteins and the.
Can you imagine putting them all underground in a hole and saying, "Okay, now get along"?
And the Harry Reid, yeah, they would all eat each other. They would eat each other, except they all taste too bad to eat. Hey Ed, thanks for your call. It was really fun. I call back next Saturday too, and we'll talk some more about this. We'll talk some more about the chemtrail issue and all that.
Oh yeah, try to get on with Alex Jones or.
Hey man, I love Alex Jones. I'm on him all the time. Like I said, it's not that I'm not aware of all these theories. It's just that I kind of try to be a little bit reserved with not just buying into everything till I have some pretty good proof. And to tell you, to be honest with you, doing a show like mine, if I don't, I'm not that smart a guy. So if I don't have all my homework and data in front of me, I'm careful not to try to get too deep into something. If I can't back up what I say. And so I really do think that on the global elitist end game agenda, they would like to reduce population. I'm just not so sure they're doing it by chemtrails, but I'm not ruling that out either. So like I said, call back and we'll talk about it some more. I'll try to have more data on it when we talk again. Thanks again, Ed.
Yeah, thank you.
God bless.
Bye-bye. I mean, my take on it is not necessarily that they're going to try to extinguish us or whatever, but they've been trying to do this militarily to control weather for forever. And I think most
clouds for a long time.
Exactly, but I think they're trying to do other things with it and try to see how much they can push that weather control so that they could go into to a country and possibly turn them into a desert or whatever else like that.
I never thought I'd see the day that I'd be sitting here and I'd be the guy that's being the least conspiratorial.
I know. I don't know.
Am I losing my
just
touch
saying.
or what?
I'm just saying. It's just that's part of it that I see that they could be doing. So.
Okay, so I told you I'm going to start doing. I got a list of stuff I'm going to shoot, and I got an M1A. I got a couple of 22 250s I've been working on. I've got a cool 7mm Tikka light that I want to shoot silhouettes with. I got a lot of plans coming up here.
Nice.
Going to be a lot of cool shows and a lot of cool videos and just a lot to talk about even on this show. I got a cool Rock River Arms National Match gun because I want to do some NRA high power, and that's been something I've been wanting to do for a while. I got a cool AR-10 I just built with a 1 in 10 twist shoot light bullets or varmint rifle. Cool carbine with the ACOG on it. A Remington police rifle we're going to take out and shoot 100 yards and stuff. I got a Ruger precision rifle we're going to take out and do a video on how to break it in and how to bore sight. Got a cool Barrett MRAD 300 Magnum, belongs to a friend of mine with a bunch of night vision stuff on. I want to do a video.
Cool.
Oh, all kinds of cool stuff. Got I got some classic guns too. Some 541T Remington target rifle 22, some Henrys, just all kinds of cool stuff. After the first of the year, I'm going to try to do some between now and then, but after the first of the year, I'm going to take my trailer and go out to the 1,000-yard range and just stay for a week and do a bunch of this stuff and just have a good old time, man. It's going to be awesome possum. Telling you.
Hope I'm there.
You going with me? I was just going to say, you going with me?
I would definitely go check that out. That would be a blast.
Would we stand each other? Would we be like Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi in a bunker? Would we eat each other after a week in the trailer together? Well, look, I guess we got to have another set of stupid commercials where they're probably going to advertise a bunch of stuff that's really great. Oh, well, I don't want to get in trouble. So, at any rate, you're listening to Power Talk 96.7 FM, 1400 AM, and we'll be right back.
U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Cenmass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Once again, Rod Williams.
You are back with the Powerhouse on Power Talk. Hey, if you want to see that video of the guy's e-cigarette blowing up in his pants, like I said,
everybody wants to see
everyone wants to see something blow up in someone's pants.
Of course.
When I was in high school, a guy had a pocket full of stick matches that went off in the class.
Oh,
that was pretty interesting. His name was Chris Rohde. He was dancing like a – that was so funny. This guy was a piece of work anyway. Hope you're doing okay, Chris. But if you want to see that, you can go on our Facebook page, Cenmass Talk. Not to be confused with the U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms Facebook page, but Cenmass Talk on Facebook, and you can see the e-cigarette blow up. Our store is U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms at 2135 Whitendale Avenue in Visalia at the corner of Mooney and Whitendale behind the 76 station. You can call our store at 734-ARMS. That's 734-2767. Mr. Woomer is waiting there to make you a great deal on a gun while you can still get one. I know I say that a lot. We buy, we sell, we trade, we take consignments. Come and see me. If you need a gun fixed or clean or maybe a scope mounted, we have a gunsmith that does most jobs. We don't do everything, but we do most things. Or give us a call at 734-ARMS, 734-2767. If you want the lowest price on any gun, call up, order it, know what you want, and just order it over the phone. We can actually do a little bit better on the price because we don't have the dog and pony show going on there. You just order it, we give you the best price, you come down and pay for it. If you don't do it that way, you'll pay the regular price. It's up to you. Again, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. You need to keep checking Cenmass.com. That's going to be our website. Not a lot going on now, but when it hits, it's going to all be coming in a flood. So keep checking Cenmass.com. Keep checking out our YouTube channel, which is Cenmass with Rod Williams. Cenmass or Cenmass Rod Williams. There you go. Cenmass Rod Williams. It's getting complicated, folks. There's just a lot of stuff going on out there. And trying to get a guy to write it down for me, but he refuses to do it. Here we
Poor
go.
Dave.
All right, let me do it again. The website is Cenmass.com. That's CENMASS.com. Facebook at Cenmass Talk. And YouTube is Cenmass Rod Williams. I have to write the Rod Williams part in myself. No batteries charged, no Rod Williams written in. He knows who I'm talking about him. Yeah, we're just going to be hosting a bunch of podcasts and cool videos. We're working on them. It's a lot of fun to do it, and we're totally looking forward to it. We were talking about climate. He got us talking about the chemtrail thing. I don't know if that's how the global elitists are coming at us or not. I'm reserving my stuff. I know Alex Jones. I love Alex Jones. I love InfoWars. But I know he goes on and on about that and has a lot to say, more than I ever will. And I'm going to look into it a little more. But I just don't know that that's how they're coming at us. I think there's, they've been, I don't know. Maybe it's how they're going to figure they got to reduce the population. But they've been using wars to their, they create wars whenever they want. It's not like that doesn't get a lot of people killed. I don't know.
I can't. I don't necessarily buy that they're
really
poisoning us through that. Like you said, I don't know what the value of that would be to do a mass. I'm
looking at some different articles here though that kind of speak to climate change, and it took more than 2 decades for the nations around the world to forge an agreement to save the planet from global warming. Within 1 year, Donald Trump could leave it all in tatters, which I hope he does, because I just don't buy into it. Do I think we're fishing the oceans out, overfishing oceans? Yep. Do I think that we pollute the air in our major cities? But yes. Do I think we pollute the air on the whole planet? No. And I think the planet heals itself, because I know one volcano can probably put more pollution out in one eruption than man has in his whole history.
Yeah.
And more ozone depleting chemicals and stuff. But where air is trapped in cities and stuff, yeah, it's polluted at times, and it is in certain areas. I do think we put a lot of pressure on ocean. I do think, but when you fly over the whole globe in a plane, you realize we don't have the impact that the people who benefit from convincing us that we do. We don't really have that impact. And do I think global warming is a man-made phenomenon? Absolutely not, because the last time I checked, I kind of look at things for the simplicity in it. And there's a giant ball of fire in the sky. Look out the window. I know it's scary, but there's a giant ball of fire in the sky. It's called the sun. And for millions of years, it's got hotter and it's cooled and it affects our planet. And it's just on a cycle now where it's just doing what it's always done. Well, and people want to take advantage of it.
The geologists and everything else have already proved so much about, how we've had ice ages and we've had times when it's been really hot and it goes in cycles. And they've proven that throughout the decades or the centuries and thousands of years.
Yeah,
so,
I hope that Trump's not as committed to this global warming, make guys like, what's the guy that...
the girl that he put...
who's the guy that ran for president and Mr. Global Warming wrote the book?
The liberal?
Yeah. God, we can't be that stupid.
I can picture him. He invented the internet.
His name.
Al Gore.
I'm looking at
Al Gore.
Al Gore. Al Gore.
He invented the internet.
This is stuff that he would. Okay, so you've heard it. In the news that the 2014 was the hottest year. Actually, it actually. And they make all these incredible claims. But let me tell you some things that I do know. In 2014 was a record sea ice in Antarctica. So, yeah, maybe the Arctic, loses a little ice, but it was record ice in Antarctica. The Great Lakes had record ice, so there's more ice than there ever was. Record snow, 2014, saw record snowfall in many areas. Record cold, 2014 saw all kinds of cold records. The polar vortex thing happened. Oceans are rising less than predicted. Polar bears that were all going to die are thriving. Moose are making a comeback. 99% of students, or 99% of scientists believe in do not believe in man-made global warming. So I'm sorry there are people who benefit from the scare tactics that 99% of scientists do not agree with you.
They've proven and they've shown. I saw a deal. I love watching the Science Channel and the NASA and all the stuff now that they have. Google Earth has just been amazing to open up a lot of scientific things now that they can see that they never could see before from looking at it from space. And they did an overlay of the North Pole, and where all these people are showing all this dieback or whatever of melting of snow, but all it's doing is shifting. They did a 2000 5 overlay, and they show it now, and it's actually, yes, it has died off in parts, but it's actually moved, and it's growing in other parts, and the mass itself hasn't changed, it's just moved. And if you look at what's happening right now with our climate, it seems to be moving. And I mean, they can show you, like in Peru, where they had a massive lake there that was thriving and had fish and everything. They can go down and they can dig up all these fish. It is now the
Dig up fish
okay, out of the ground, because it's now no longer a lake. Okay. It's now a desert where not even a microbe. It's the closest thing to the moon we have on Earth. There's not even a microbe can survive there. And at one time, it was a thriving ocean.
This whole global warming thing originated basically with the United Nations and guys like Al Gore. And they got a thing called the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Chan or whatever. And these guys, you know, the problem is the IPCC climate change hypothesis was adopted way back in Carter's thing, and then Al Gore when he was vice president. And it's been a Democratic, you know, marching order ever since. They exploit it. But you know, we have organizations like the Friends of Science Society. Here's their position statement. Their goal is to educate the public about climate science and through them bring pressure to bear on governments to engage in public debates on the scientific merits of the hypothesis of human-induced global warming and various policies and they intend to address that issue. And is what the Friends of Science Society is it's that 99% of scientists that don't believe in man-made global warming get together and create this society to debunk these theories. And it just and I'll just read you some of this stuff because I'm looking at something I printed out from them, and it says, you know, they do original science and they're real scientists, and it says variations in solar activity and cosmic rays correlate with temperature much better than CO2 does, and this may be because electromagnetic activity in the sun. Well, I have a friend that's a big radio guy. He's like a radio genius. He really is. He's a guy that when I'm around him, I feel like I'm a complete moron. He's that smart. And he tells me that the you know, like people with ham radio, it doesn't broadcast as much as it used to 20 years ago because the sun flares, the sun's acting differently because the sun does things in cycles. The sun's billions of years old. It does things. It has its ups and downs.
It's like the Earth does.
Right. Yeah. And right now the sun's not conducive to making radio waves work real good. So you need more power in your radio to transmit what you could have done, you know, 20 years ago real easy. And it's the sun causing this stuff. And
they've even proven, like the Fukushima, Japan earthquake where the nuclear place melted down.
The United Nations drives this phony climate change narrative. And if you follow the money, it all just leads back to these elitist liberal ruling class that wants to control people with it. But here's some of the common myths and misconceptions about global warming. Global temperatures are rising at a rapid and unprecedented rate. The fact is they're not. I won't read you all the little details, but they've got empirical proof that the global temperatures aren't rising at a rapid or unprecedented rate. It's like mild warming of 0.06 to 0.08% of a degree centigrade over the whole 20th century. It's just not something to get your panties in a bunch over. You know, so you don't hear anything about global warming, you know, during an election. The hockey stick graph proves that the Earth has experienced a steady and very gradual temperature decrease for 1,000 years and has recently begun a sudden increase. Again, this is debunked. Human-produced carbon dioxide has increased over the last 100 years, adding to the greenhouse effect in the Earth's warming over the carbon dioxide levels have indeed changed for various reasons, human activities and otherwise, just as they have throughout geological time. They can go into the ice, you know, like you're talking about digging up the fish, or they can go into the core of the ice and see how much CO2 was in the air, and it's been up and down, nothing special for thousands of years.
Well, like
nothing
you said,
special
I mean,
since we've
they've
been
had
producing
volcanoes have caused more damage than anything that we've ever done. And I mean, one volcano in the past that has erupted wipe out the sun.
Like I said, one volcano eruption puts more ozone-depleting chemicals and greenhouse gases into the atmosphere than man has in his whole history by a huge factor. CO2 is not the most common greenhouse gas. That's the one we produce. Greenhouse gases form about 3% of the atmosphere by volume. They consist of varying amounts, about 97% water vapor and clouds. Remainder gases like CO2, CH4, and ozone and N2O, of which carbon dioxide is the largest amount. Hence, CO2 constitutes about 0.04% of the atmosphere, while it's just not. It's just that you can just debunk every argument.
Well, I mean, the Earth is changing, and it evolves, and it goes up and down in cycles.
The computer models are biased that show the global warming. The United Nations panel that says they've proven man-made global warming was biased. They've proven that. Another fallacy is CO2 is a pollutant. It's not. It's an inert gas. It doesn't pollute anything. Global warming will cause more storms and weather extremes. Again, that can be debunked. I could just go on and on. I'm just not going to.
The point I was going to make about the Fukushima thing was where they actually proved that earthquake moved the Earth on its axis.
What the Fukushima are you talking about?
It actually moved the Earth off its axis, millimeters, but just centimeters, just very little, tiny. But they're saying that over time,
the meltdown of the reactors in Fukushima, Japan,
the earthquake, the 9.0 earthquake that hit, and
it moved the Earth. You are a conspiracy theorist
I'm telling
today.
You, they proved it.
What the Fukushima are you talking about?
This is a conspiracy. This is full-on science stuff here.
Hey man, I think we better go to a commercial. This is Cenmass on Power Talk 96.7 FM and 1400 AM, and we'll be right back with Farmer Greg's Conspiracies.
U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms presents Cenmass on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400. Here again is Rod Williams.
You are back on Cenmass. Our store is U.S. Tactical and Sporting Arms at 2135 Whitendale and Visalia at Mooney. You can call the store at 734-ARMS, 734-2767. Again, we're going to, keep watching for our website, cenmass.com. You can search YouTube. You can search Cenmass Rod Williams for videos. Facebook, Cenmass, Cenmass Talk. Facebook at Cenmass Talk. You can, there'll be stuff on there. The content will be growing on all these sites, so just keep searching them. They're kind of sparse right now. I don't know the website's got anything on it, but we're just getting the word out there because when it hits, it's going to hit in a flood. We're going to have a lot of content. It'll be cool. There'll be some political videos, a lot of how-to shooting videos, just a lot of fun stuff going to come. Hey, Barkley, the recount. Okay, so they asked Donald Trump. They were so cocksure they were going to win the election that they come out and say, Trump, well, when you lose, you're not going to be crying about it, want to recount and be so, you're going to be manly about taking it like a man. And they couldn't stand it that he didn't, acquiesce to him. Just like all the Republicans asked him when he started to run, hey, if you don't make it, you're not gonna go run as something else. You'll sign this pledge, and then they all change their mind, including Mitt Romney now, who wants to be the Secretary of State or whatever.
Yeah.
Over my dead body. I hope that don't happen. Yeah. But whatever. Trump got to make his own decisions. We won't get into all that right now. But they had that. Then she comes out and says, if you lose, you're going to accept it. And they made a big stink of it. He said he might not accept it. And now they want to recount.
Yeah.
And it's building steam. And they're going to try.
If Trump did this?
Still going to try to steal the election.
If Trump was doing this, they would just be killing him.
Oh my God.
I just was pulling up something here the last couple of minutes that Hillary's her general counsel is now getting involved into the Wisconsin count, because that's pretty much, if they can debunk that one, that would change a lot of.
The Obama administration says, count. We're going to accept the results. We're not. But you can't believe when you hear that either, because they may want this all to happen and then just want to make it look like he don't care whether it happens or not. These guys, this recount thing, I'm not going to go into it real big today because it'll happen. Let it build some steam first. And
See
then
where it goes.
But it's coming. It's coming.
Well, they got that. We talked about that December 18th date that they're shooting for, that they have to have all this
it's
done.
December 16th, I think, that's the last time that they can, before the electoral thing's cut and dried.
They can force them or try to force them to change their vote. And I think they're going to try to do it through this vote. If they can say, look, they didn't have the votes. You did it too early. And so now you got to change your vote. I don't know. I can't imagine at this point if they did that.
It's going to be President Trump. Get over it, you liberal douchebags. It's a done deal. Get over it.
The scary part is
there'd be total chaos and anarchy. I think that would be a real trigger if they were able to pull that off.
Our whole country would be
I
in
know.
trouble.
I'm not going to stand for it.
No, but
I will not obey the rule of law if they steal this election.
The problem is they're running this recount. Who's auditing it? Who's watching over it? Who knows where they're pulling these numbers from and votes from?
They got to do away with anything but written
They're going to try to
ballots.
do everything they can possibly do to put her. They're that distraught. They just can't take it.
They can't do it. We lost, and we can't. We know when the Republicans lost in 12 and 8. 2008, 2012. There's a little complaining.
We weren't happy.
Nothing like
we went
this.
back to our lives.
It just goes to show you that two different genres of people. It's disgusting. Hey, Trump can turn off the illegal alien magnet in California. Look, I'm going to spend the next years, everything I do, if I do anything, we've made big strides getting him elected, getting Republican, for the most part, legislatures throughout the states, mostly Republican governors, making big strides toward individual liberty. Now we need to get our state back. The state of communist socialist Fornia needs to get brought back in.
Yep.
Don't think we didn't ever vote for Republicans here. We had a guy named Ronald Reagan come out of here. We had a guy named Pete Wilson. I mean, this was just back in the 80s that we weren't this Democrat, this fixed thing that we have in here. And we need to get this back. And there's only one way we're ever going to do that. And that's this state is over half Latino now, okay, or Hispanic. And for whatever reasons, whether, obviously that's why the Democrats pandered to illegal immigration in this state, because they create a voting base. But I'm going to tell you something. Most Hispanic people, ethics and morality is more in line with a libertarian or a Republican point of view than it is with the Democrat point of view. They're mostly Catholic. They believe in Christ, and they have God, and they have religion. And these these liberals, they don't have that. They have conservative values. These liberals don't have that. They have a good work ethic. These liberals don't have that. They would love for them all. Now, I don't care if the cartel guys or the druggie guys or the gangsters who are in any of these races or anything want to play. I ain't who we need. We need the hardworking, moral Hispanic people we need to start speaking to them and them to each other and make them understand that their ethics and their morality is more in line with the Republican or for sure libertarian parties. They want to work hard. They want to live a good life and not have a government sticking their nose in. Their ancestors left a place where everything's corrupt and the government's got its nose and politicians are stealing everything to come to a place where there's liberty.
Yeah.
And now don't come here and then screw it up and make it where you came from. And I think they understand that. And we got to get that message out, because if we just get all the moral Hispanic voters to start changing their registration, we will get this state back, and we will have a even freer country, because this state has way too many electoral votes.
And they are changing. Fresno Bee just had an article today about the Hispanic population that voted for Trump and that have starting to have that movement.
You're darn right. I don't need to spout a bunch of statistics.
No, and they need to.
We just need to make these people understand that they're the moral majority, and that if they just need to change that little registration card on that voter registration and start thinking about the bill of goods that they're getting fed. That happens with a lot of my so-called minorities. They're no longer the minority.
Yeah, they're being regulated worse than anybody.
They're the majority here now. So they're going to soon find out that they're a lot more conservative and that they're a lot more libertarian and a little more Republican.
And most of them just want to, they're like us, like the farmers. They just want to go out and work a hard day, come home, and be left alone.
That's right.
I know so many of them that I just don't want to be bothered. I don't want any red flags. I just want to go live my life and just leave me alone.
Speaking of Hispanics and stuff, and I see Mexico as Mexico. I mean, I love the people of Mexico, and I love going to Mexico.
Government and the
but
corruption is
the
too
Mexican
much.
government, sending us all these, they're just pulling a lot of shenanigans and flooding us with the people they don't want there and so forth. And but and these cartels are just a huge problem. But Texas State Trooper was hit by gunfire from Mexico. They think a couple of rival cartels. This story is from Friday, and Texas State Trooper was wounded on Texas-Mexico border when a bullet apparently strayed from a gun battle on Mexican side of the Rio Grande. Lieutenant Johnny Hernandez, the Texas Department of Safety, says that trooper suffered a leg wound. It's like we're at war here, man.
If they would just do what they did in Colombia, I don't know if you remember back in the 80s, they went after the Colombians, and we still have military presence in Colombia right now going after these drug dealers. They're there 24/7. And if they did that in Mexico, where they worked together and they said, look, we want to eradicate this stuff, they could really have a big impact on that. If they would just work together, allow us to come in and put together some teams that would go in and just eradicate these guys.
Hey, look, man, it looks like we're running out of time because I can hear Audrey doing that sneaky little ramp up.
I hear some music too.
We're going to close the show. That's it, folks. Thanks for listening. I'm Rod Williams, my friend Greg Barkley. We also have help from our friend David Welch. Please remember, freedom is never free. Participate in the debate and vote. Get out with that family and shoot. Work hard, pray without ceasing. God bless you. Jesus rocks. Thank you.